Hey guys, what's up, it's iFlynn here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Destreza Prime. I know this video is a little bit late, but I didn't want to jump in and cover this weapon straight away because a lot of people didn't actually like this for whatever reason. I think it's a pretty solid weapon, and I'm going to be going over why in today's video, but for some reason people just didn't take to this weapon. They didn't feel like it was, I guess, noteworthy. So I don't know, there just wasn't a lot of like demand to cover it, but of course we're going to be covering it in today's video anyway, taking a look at it, taking a look at the build that I'm using, and other things like that. One thing that I really like about this weapon is how you kind of like crawl around with it. I don't know why, but I'm probably going to be doing this for the majority or the rest of the video because I just think this crawling animation is really funny looking. I don't know why, but yeah, I find that amusing. But anyway, let's jump into the stats of the Destreza Prime. It came with the Limbo Prime access. It is a reappear. So I guess a lot of people would kind of draw a comparison to the Plague Crit Path Rapier as well. And whenever you compare the Destreza Prime to the Plague Crit Path Rapier, the Plague Crit Path deals more damage because you also have the viral damage on top of the IPS, and you can run pretty much the exact same build that I'm going to be showing you in today's video. Plus, you also have Rivens on top of that. Now, you can get a Riven with a 4 disposition for the Destreza Prime as well, which is awesome because you can get some pretty high values in those. But because of that base viral damage on the Plague Crit Path, it means that if you got like a God Roll Riven, which gives you like melee damage plus maybe attack speed and crit damage for like minus finisher damage or something, then it puts that weapon like just a step above the Destreza Prime, just because like that weapon is so good at base. You can pretty much do the exact same builds on the Plague Crit Path Rapier that you can do on the Destreza, and it'll be better type of thing. So that's why a lot of people wrote off the Destreza, because, you know, obviously the Plague Crit Path is basically a straight upgrade. But, you know, if you don't have the Plague parts, then the Destreza is also a really good rapier, and that's not to mention that you can also make some pretty good rapier Zaws even without the Plague Crit Path as well. So of course I'll make a video covering that in the future, but today we're talking about the Destreza Prime. So at BS, we have an attack speed of 0.9, we have a channeling cost of 5, channeling damage of 1.5 times, critical chance of 24%, critical multiplier 3 times, which is awesome, damage block chance of 35%, leap attack 76, spin 163, status 18%, wall attack 304, a puncture stat of 53.2 being its most predominant IPS. Then we also have a slash stat of 13.7 coming in second, and an impact at 9.1. Now with the build that I'm going to be showing you guys, we are running a little hybrid with status plus crit. So we have my prime pressure point on here for damage, we have blood rush on here for critical chance, we have drifting contact on here to increase our combo counter duration, and we also have the status chance on here as well. We have Berserker on here for the attack speed, our elemental combo being corrosive for the sake of this video, because we're going to be fighting against level 110 corrupted heavy gunners. So that's Prime Fever Strike plus Shock and Touch. Organ Shatter to up our crit multiplier to 5.4 or 5.7 times. And then we have Condition Overload on here for the multiplicative damage bonus whenever we proc different status effects, be that slash, puncture, impact, you know, whatever, corrosive, etc, etc. And then we have Vulpine Mask, which is our stance mod, which has a bunch of really cool multi-hit combos in here as well. So it is a crit condition overload hybrid. You can sort of vary it this a little bit. So you could throw on the dual status elemental mods instead of the 90% elemental mods. So you'd throw on what's it called? Let me find the name of the actual mod. You would throw on Virulent Scourge and also Voltaic Strike instead of these two mods, and in that way you'd have a higher status chance. You would proc your Condition Overload procs more consistently, you would strip away a lot more armor, and then you would probably just kill the enemy a little bit quicker in a few circumstances whenever you go up to the super high level. But because in today's video, we're going to be playing against a level 110 Corrupted Heavy Gunner. That's like the highest level enemy you're going to find in sortie level content. You know, you're probably better off just going with these 90% to get the higher numbers base than stripping away all the armor to get a higher number eventually type of thing, because your armor isn't going to be that high, so you don't really have to scale it down by using like really high status chance builds type of thing. So let's just go ahead and spawn in those heavy gunners. We're not going to be pausing the AI, because if we pause the AI, then we're going to get a stealth bonus, an 8 8 times damage stealth bonus. However, what I do have equipped is an arcane strike, which is going to increase our attack speed here. So that might affect the DPS a little bit too, because you notice that procs whenever I just go ahead and melee the enemies. I'm also going to show you guys the effects whenever we have Warcry enabled as well, and a few other Warframe abilities. So we just jump over these guys. I'm going to be using the blocking combo with Full Pine Mask here, and you'll notice that does a lot of multi-hits. So check this out. As we're meleeing, you'll notice that we're applying all these status effects, and our damage just kind of builds up with the corrosive procs and the status effects. And then we also get into orange crit territory, which means that we kill the enemies extremely quickly, and yeah, they just die omega fast. Now you'll notice that I also have my 2 arcane strikes procced in the top right hand corner, and I have the 75% attack speed increase from our berserker as well. So let's go ahead and throw our Warcry into the mix as well, which is going to speed us up even more. And you notice that we actually melee that fast that sometimes the entire combo doesn't come out because we're just meleeing that quickly. So, you know, you basically burst down enemies' health insanely fast with this type of build, and it's not even funny. Now, if you're to go ahead and use a frame that could, like, maybe reduce the resistances of the enemies, like completely strip away armor, what you want to be doing is you want to be running viral damage like this, okay? So let's go ahead and actually run Ash so we can strip away the enemy's armor. And you'll notice that this weapon actually kills insanely fast whenever the armor's gone, just like most weapons in the game actually, because no armor means no resistances, and no resistances means less hits to kill type of thing. So let's just go ahead and make sure that I have my Seek and Shuriken build on. Yep, this is the type of thing that you'd be doing if you're going against higher level content. So you'd be completely stripping away the enemy's armor, and you might at this point want to be running your Jill status mods instead of the 90% if you're going up to like enemies higher than level 200 type of thing. So let's go ahead and simulate these guys. Jump towards them, strip away their armor like so. Let's see if we can actually get the right guys, and look how fast they die. Now it's not a slash heavy weapon, but because you have that viral in there, it's going to reduce the enemy's maximum HP, and then whenever you reduce the enemy's maximum HP, you also get, you know, that multiplicative bonus from your condition overload. So the guys basically die like in a few hits rather than having to build up your crit or your combo or whatever to deal like massive damage. Because they're just dealing massive damage from the get-go, then they die insanely fast. So yeah, it's pretty insane. You also get the slash procs from Ash's Shuriken, which has a little bit of the influence on our damage there, but not that much. It's just more about stripping away the armor, so you kind of like mimic the effect of what's it called, of having 4 times crucible projection in your squad. So yeah, that is completely stripping away the armor from the guys, running 2 different types of builds, running viral. We can actually go ahead and demonstrate this with viral if you don't strip away the armor, because you can actually like deal decent damage as well, not stripping away that armor. So let's just go ahead and test that out. So you notice that, you know, you're not necessarily dealing high numbers, but because you're proccing that viral, it's reducing the enemy's maximum HP through their armor, and then you're also getting all the other status procs, which is giving you the multiplicative bonus as well. So totally viable to run this. If you're running your Jill stat elements here, it might actually be a little bit more consistent in terms of damage. So let's just go ahead and run those instead. So that would be our Virulent Scourge plus our Vicious Frost. I'll notice that we proc our status more consistently. Okay, this guy is don't want to do that versus him, but we proc our status more consistently, which means that we get our multiplicative bonus from our condition overload a lot more consistently, right? I think I've said consistently about 3 times there, but yeah, you know, the guys die, man, and that is basically what I'm trying to get across. Any real build, like any variation of that build, as long as you have the Organ Shatter, you have the Blood Rush, you have the Drifting Contact or the Body Count, you have your Condition Overload, and then you have like 1 elemental combo, you should, implying you're not running the completely wrong elemental combo like Blast or Magnetic or something, then you should be good to go, you know, like you should be able to take down the enemies pretty effectively. And yeah, that is pretty much it whenever it comes to the weapon. However, if you were to go out of your way to get a Riven, let's just go ahead and remake the build here. So it have Prime Fever Strike and Shocking Touch. If you were gonna go out of your way to get a ribbon for it, the mod that I would probably try to replace, or the mods that I would try to replace, would probably be something like maybe your secondary elemental. So if you were to get like a mod that gives you electric damage, you could replace this. But you want to be pairing something like, you know, your melee damage plus also maybe critical damage and maybe attack speed. So, I don't know, there's a bunch of mods on here that you could change. You could change Shocking Touch out, you could change Organ Shatter out if you got a Riven mod that had a higher critical damage stat on it. You could also change up Drifting Contact here as well. So you could, you know, get a Riven mod which makes it so that you have a higher combat duration on it as well. So, you know, those are just a few mods that I would try to replace on this build. So obviously having, you know, electric damage or toxin damage or whatever, that would be ideal. So yeah, I just noticed that a viewer joined there. That's the second time that's happened. This is the second time of me trying to record this video, but I think I'm gonna keep that one. Sorry, I was about to join someone else. Don't worry about it. Okay, so yeah, that kind of threw me off. But, you know, try to replace Shocking Touch, try to replace Drifting Contact. So to replace those, you want to be getting the actual stats that they give. You don't necessarily need status chance, but it's nice. So, you know, it's up to you if you want to replace that. You can swap that out for body count. Swap this out if you have a Riven that gives you critical damage and you also have like melee attack damage, or you could swap Shocking Touch out if you have a Riven that gives you melee attack damage plus electric damage plus maybe crit damage or something. So you're looking for basically damage increase in the shape or form of any element, and then you're looking for like minus finisher damage or something along those lines. And yeah, personally, I would try to replace Drifting Contact, because it's a mod that doesn't give you necessarily any damage. It gives you status chance, which is awesome, but like, you don't necessarily need that to still like still proc that condition overload proc, you know. So as long as you're getting lucky, it would be like 1 in every like 4 hits or something to proc your status to get that multiplicative bonus off. So, you know, it's up to you. It's really up to you whenever it comes to Rivens and what you want to replace on your build and stuff like that. But I'll stop rambling on now. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead, hit that like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.